I stepped out onto the deck that crisp autumn evening, the steam from the hot tub rising like a veil in the fading light. And there she was, my wife Elena, her head thrown back in genuine laughter, pressed close against Marcus, her best friend Sarah's husband, their bodies half submerged, wine glasses clinking as his hand rested casually on her thigh under the bubbling water. My heart didn't race at first. It just stopped, like the world hit pause. I stood there in the shadows of the sliding glass door, phone already in my hand from checking work emails, and without a single word, I walked quietly to the backyard gate, turned the heavy iron lock with a soft click that echoed in my ears, and dialed the one number I knew would change everything. But let me back up, because you need to understand how we got here. My name's Alex, I'm 38, and I work as a structural engineer in Seattle. Long hours designing bridges that hold up under pressure, ironically enough. Elena and I had been married for 9 years, together for 12. We met in college, back when life felt full of possibilities. She was studying graphic design, always sketching ideas that turned heads, and I was the steady guy who made her laugh with bad puns about load-bearing walls. Our life looked solid from the outside, a cozy craftsman house in a quiet neighborhood, weekend hikes in the Olympics, shared friends from her art circle and my engineering buddies. But over the last couple of years, something had shifted quietly, like a foundation settling unevenly. Elena started pulling late nights at her freelance gigs, coming home with that distant glow, talking about creative energy from client meetings. I'd come home exhausted from site visits, cook dinner, simple stuff like grilled salmon and salads, and she'd peck my cheek, say thanks, then retreat to her studio upstairs with her laptop. We still had moments, sure. She'd plan little surprises, like tickets to a jazz show downtown, or I'd bring home flowers from Pike Place Market on Fridays. But intimacy, it had faded into routine. Sex became infrequent, almost scheduled, and when it happened, it felt like she was going through motions, her mind elsewhere. I'd ask if everything was okay, and she'd smile that practiced smile, say, "Just stressed with work, babe. You're great." I'd believe her because I wanted to. Because admitting otherwise meant facing cracks I wasn't ready to repair. Our closest friends were Sarah and Marcus. Sarah was Elena's ride or die since high school. Bubbly, organized, the one who hosted brunches and girls' trips. Marcus was a real estate developer, charming in that effortless way, always closing deals and telling stories at barbecues. We double-dated often. Wine tastings in Woodinville, game nights at their lakefront cabin. They had 2 kids, we didn't, by choice, or so we said. Elena loved being the fun aunt, and I enjoyed the freedom. Lately though, Marcus and Elena had been teaming up on projects. Sarah mentioned it casually once. Elena designing branding for one of Marcus's property flips. "They're like creative soulmates," Sarah laughed over coffee. I nodded, proud even. Good for them. But I noticed the texts lighting up Elena's phone during dinner, the way she'd angle the screen away. Little things. Dismissible things. That night, the one that shattered it all, was supposed to be low-key. Sarah had taken the kids to her parents for the weekend, and Marcus had texted me earlier. "Hey man, swinging by to borrow your pressure washer tomorrow? Elena said you guys have the hot tub going tonight. Mind if I join for a quick soak after dropping stuff off?" I replied sure, no problem. Elena seemed excited when I told her. "It'll be fun, just relaxing with a friend." I got home late from a bridge inspection in Tacoma, traffic crawling through rain. The house was quiet, lights dim. I figured Elena was already out back. She'd mentioned firing up the tub to unwind. I changed into sweats, grabbed a beer, and slid open the door to join them. That's when I saw it. Not some clumsy, obvious clinch. No. It was subtler, more devastating. Elena and Marcus side by side, shoulders touching, her leg draped over his under the water. She was telling a story, something animated, her hands gesturing, and he was watching her like she was the only person in the world, that deep, attentive gaze I'd once felt directed at me. Then she laughed, full and free, leaning into him, and he brushed a wet strand of hair from her face, his fingers lingering on her cheek. It wasn't sex. Not yet, anyway. But it was intimacy. The kind we'd lost. The kind that made my stomach twist because it wasn't just physical. It was emotional. She was sharing her light with him, the laughter I'd been chasing for months. I didn't burst out. Didn't shout. Something colder settled in me. I backed up silently, heart pounding now, and went to the side gate, the one leading to the alley. Locked it. Then I dialed Sarah. She answered on the second ring, voice warm. Alex. Hey, what's up? Kids are asleep finally. Sarah, I said, keeping my voice steady, though it felt like gravel. You need to come over. Now. Bring your phone camera if you want, but just come alone. A pause. Is everything okay? You sound. Just come. Please. She arrived in 15 minutes, pulling up quietly. I met her at the front door, led her through the house without a word, and out to the deck. The hot tub jets hummed, masking our approach. Elena and Marcus were still there, closer now, his arm around her shoulders, her head on his chest as they murmured softly, wine glasses refilled. Sarah froze beside me. Her hand flew to her mouth, eyes widening. A soft gasp escaped. Elena heard it first. She looked up, smile fading instantly. Sarah. What, Alex? Marcus jolted, pulling away like he'd been burned. Water sloshed. Sarah didn't scream. She just stared, tears welling fast. Marcus. What the hell is this? Elena scrambled for a towel, wrapping it around herself. Sarah, wait. It's not. We were just talking. Talking. Sarah's voice cracked, low and disbelieving. With his hand on you like that? In a hot tub? Alone. Marcus stood, water dripping. Sarah. Babe, listen. No. Sarah cut him off, voice trembling but firm. Don't babe me. I stayed silent, leaning against the doorframe, arms crossed. The lock on the gate ensured no quick escape. This wasn't planned vengeance. It was just containment. Letting the truth breathe. Elena turned to me, eyes pleading. Alex, honey, please. This isn't what it looks like. Marcus and we've been working together a lot, and tonight we just needed to unwind. Nothing happened. I met her gaze. Nothing happened. Elena, I saw the way you laughed with him. The way you touched. That's not nothing. That's everything we've been missing. She flinched. Marcus grabbed his clothes from the deck chair, mumbling apologies, but Sarah stepped forward. How long? Sarah asked, voice breaking. How long have you two been this? Elena hesitated. That hesitation was answer enough. Marcus sighed. A few months. It started with the project. Late nights. Talking. Really talking. Talking, Sarah repeated bitterly. While I was home with the kids. While Alex was working his ass off. Elena reached for me. Alex, I love you. You're my husband. This was a mistake. Stress. Midlife, whatever. I shook my head slowly. No. Elena. Mistakes are forgetting anniversaries or burning dinner. This is a choice. Repeated choices. The confrontation unfolded there on the deck, cold air contrasting the steam. No one yelled. It was worse. Quiet, raw truth spilling out. Sarah asked Marcus why. He shrugged, looking ashamed but not destroyed. You've been so focused on the kids, the house. Elena. She sees me. Listens. Elena nodded faintly, then looked at me. Alex, you're always so stable, reliable. But sometimes it feels safe to the point of boring. Marcus excites me. Makes me feel alive again. There it was. The brutal truth. Not, I never loved you. Not, you were convenient. But worse in a way. Your feelings don't matter to me as much as my own excitement. I felt it hit my dignity like a slow wave. Not just the romance crumbling, but my identity. I'd prided myself on being the rock, the provider, the one who built things that lasted. And here, my own marriage was eroding because I was too steady. Sarah turned to Elena. "You're my best friend. How could you?" Elena teared up. "I don't know. It just happened. I didn't plan." "But you didn't stop it," I said quietly. Marcus tried to approach Sarah. "We can fix this. Counseling." She backed away. "No. Not tonight. Maybe not ever." The night ended with them leaving separately. Marcus out the front, Sarah driving off in tears after hugging me tightly, whispering, "I'm so sorry, Alex." Elena stayed inside, crying on the couch, begging me to talk. I didn't. Not yet. I sat in the kitchen, staring at the locked gate visible through the window, feeling everything collapse. Who was I if not her husband? The reliable one? My world had been her, our home, our quiet life. Without it, I felt unmoored, like a bridge without anchors. That night, alone in the guest room, I broke. Silent tears, the kind that shake your whole body. Questioning every memory. Was it always lacking? Had she settled? Did I fail to excite her? The humiliation burned, knowing Marcus saw her in ways I hadn't in years. Public. Not yet, but our friends would know soon. The double betrayal with Sarah's husband made it personal, a knife in the community we'd built. Morning came gray and rainy. Elena knocked softly. "Alex, please. Let's talk." I let her in. We sat at the kitchen table, coffee cooling untouched. "I'm sorry," she started. "I ended it with Marcus last night. Texted him it's over." "Is it?" I asked. She looked down. "I think so. But I need to be honest. I've been unhappy for a while. Not you specifically, just us. The routine. So you chose excitement over working on it." She nodded. I was cowardly. I gaslight myself into thinking it was harmless flirting. Then more. The turning point came then, in that conversation. She expected me to fight, to beg her to stay, to promise changes. But as she spoke, something clarified in me. I saw it. Her unhappiness was real, but so was her choice to betray rather than communicate. And mine. I'd enabled the distance by not pushing harder, by accepting fine as answer. I stopped begging in my mind. "Elena," I said calmly, "I deserve someone who chooses me every day, not when it's convenient or after getting caught." Her eyes widened. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I need space. You should stay with your sister for a while." She cried harder. "But we can try therapy." "Maybe. But not because I'm desperate to keep you. Because I want to understand for myself." She left that afternoon, bags packed in silence. The weeks that followed were hell. Emotional collapse, sleepless nights, lost appetite, questioning my worth. Friends reached out. Sarah and I talked often, both navigating our spouse's affair. She filed for separation first. Marcus moved out. I threw myself into work, but even there, focus wavered. Therapy helped, a quiet office downtown, unpacking years of assuming stability equaled happiness. Self-awareness grew slowly. I realized I'd tied my identity to being the good husband, the provider, neglecting my own spark. I started small. Joined a climbing gym, reconnected with old college friends, took solo trips to the mountains. Elena reached out sporadically, apologies, suggestions to meet. I met her once, neutrally, in a cafe. She looked worn, admitted the affair had fizzled fast once exposed. It was fantasy, she said. Reality with Marcus was empty. And with me, comfortable. But I took it for granted. We divorced amicably 6 months later. No big fights, just papers signed in a lawyer's office. She kept some art pieces. I kept the house. The resolution wasn't dramatic. No public shaming, no revenge plot. Just quiet dignity. I didn't badmouth her to mutual friends. Let the truth speak. Sarah and I remained close, co-parenting our friendship circle through the fallout. Now, 2 years on, I'm in a better place. Dating someone new, a landscape architect who challenges me, laughs at my puns, communicates fiercely. We hike, argue healthily, build something intentional. Elena. She moved to Portland, focused on her career. We exchange polite holiday texts. No bitterness, just acceptance. Looking back, that night by the hot tub, locking the gate, calling Sarah, wasn't about trapping them. It was about refusing to let the betrayal stay hidden, to protect my dignity by facing it head-on. The lesson. Betrayal often comes not from hate, but from unmet needs ignored too long. Don't beg for someone's return when they've chosen to leave your worth behind. Set boundaries early. Communicate the hard stuff. And when it's over, walk away with your head high, not for revenge, but for the self-respect that attracts real love next time. Healing isn't linear. Some days still sting. But I've learned, true strength isn't in holding on, it's in letting go when staying diminishes you. If you're in something similar, know this, you're enough. Their choices don't define your value. Protect your peace. The right people will see you clearly, without needing a hot tub confession to wake up. Thanks for listening. If this resonated, share your thoughts below. You're not alone.